Hi, I'm Ted. I'm here with Hova, who recently built agent mode with our team. What is agent mode?
We're taking frontier AI models and giving them access to tools, letting them to be able to create files, read files. But let me just show you what actually it can do.
Let's do it.
So I actually need to give a presentation next week on some of the Arena leaderboard and how that all works and comes together. And what better way than to actually dive into the original paper that this is all based on. But to be honest with you, I really haven't read through it that well. I don't really understand a lot of this. I'm not a machine learning expert. So let's just dive into this and have agent mode do the hard work for us. So here we have create a site explaining the paper with interactive visualizations of the data. When I say what is the paper, this is actually a PDF with a published paper that we're going to have agent mode be able to read through. You can see here it's using bash is in like a computer commands in a dedicated sandbox to look at the paper, be able to read through it. Here it's writing Python to be able to actually read through it and parse through it. Again, we do have Document Arena where you can actually where we have AI that can look at documents. This is taking it a step further where it can be way more free as far as making decisions of how it's going to get to that end result. So in this case, reading through the paper using computer commands, it can go and do research on the internet to be able to like back up claims or do additional research. And then the last thing here, which is really pulling all these tools together, so you can see it's actually creating a website that we'll be able to reference and hopefully, upskill myself enough to be able to really explain what this paper is doing.
Yeah, makes sense. What's this workspace thing on the side?
Yeah, so great question. So you can see over here, we have our upload. So the original PDF that we uploaded is shown over here. And in addition to that, you can see it did start writing this HTML page. So this website, you can see, it's streaming along. But once this site is finished, we'll be able to see it over here and read through it.
Makes sense.
All right, so it just finished up and we can see the site now. Hey, we have a paper walkthrough of Chatbot Arena. I think if I were to do this over again, I might even actually say, explain it like I'm 5.
Yeah.
Because, I get this, but come on, just like really, really break it down for me. But yeah, this is great. Hey, why a new benchmark? And then this kind of goes through all of the reasons, how battles work, what's the heuristic for that, the different data sets that they used. Yeah, let's see what else. I even have some interactive sliders, so they've got some JavaScript running in here. Pretty neat stuff. Oh, I was not expecting it to do that. That's cool. Okay, so depending on Model A or Model B sampling. Oh, and this looks very familiar. This is just like our leaderboard. And let's see, talking about confidence intervals. Where did they actually, this must be from the original paper, what they're doing. So this is really cool, being able to just take a paper and take a PDF and make it a very, very living document that you can interact with. And I do want to call out, so here it says, was this task successful? And we can say yes, no, or keep working. So I'm going to say yes, this is great. But you could also say keep working, or you could even say no and undo and go back. But yeah, I can imagine this being something where being able to iterate on the site and say like, oh, something basic like, hey, make it red instead of purple, or, actually going in and saying, hey, let's take this paper, do some more research on this and maybe like take a different spin on it based on these newer papers that are out there and combine the two and explain it like I'm 5, which I really, really could use as well.
Maybe let's do a follow-up question and have it just re-summarize everything.
All right, so let's say re-summarize the presentation, explain it like I'm 5. And let's even keep it short here. We'll say like only 5 line items, please. All right, so here we go. Oh yeah, and so one thing I do want to call out is that as it's going through this, that the follow-up questions, that it's all using the same model behind the scenes. Hey, it did it real quick. Chatbot Arena explained to a 5-year-old or me. 2 robots, 1 question. That's great. You pick the winner, so you read both answers and tap the one that you like more. Lots of people play. That's true. And then we use Matt to make a leaderboard. The smart part. Pick fights that matter instead of random matchups. And yeah, that's definitely is actually a really good sticking point. That's something that, yeah, this is great. I feel like I'm ready to really come in swinging for next week.
So what happens when you mark a task as successful or not? Like behind the scenes, what are we going to do with that?
Yeah, so you have the option to say, was this task successful? Yes, no, keep working. And so with that, it is registering a vote with a particular model. So throughout the entire conversation, you're continuing this conversation with a single model, and we're able to track feedback with that. And as it's saying here, it's a slightly different methodology, but the same idea is there, which is if we're able to evaluate and pick fights that matter, we can see categories. People that are generating these presentations on, going through PDFs would be very different than other generations, whether it's like basic questions that just require a text reply or ones that require searching the web. A lot of different ways that we can categorize this feedback.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then is there an agent leaderboard?
Absolutely. So it's actually an entirely new type of leaderboard using a different methodology, and it goes really deep into agentic capabilities that we care about.
All right. Thanks, Matt. If you want to use agent mode, you can go to Arena.ai/agent. And it's best for complex tasks for work. So have at it.